Hello there, it's Mike.
And Katie.
And it's episode 133. What are we talking about this week, Katie?
Sailor Moon Eternal.
On this week of Cup of Rad.
Hi, everyone.
How's it going? It's another week, another episode.
Woohoo!
That's
wow.
right, your ear holes are just dying for more radness to be poured in there.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm with you. I'm good.
Nope, tea's still too hot.
Hot. This is why we drink beer, right?
That's why we should, yes. We should have coffee, too. I'm a little burnt out.
Yeah.
Hey, so what?
This tea is good, though.
It is good. It's raspberry lemonade.
Yeah.
Raspberry.
So what were you saying?
Yeah, this was a busy week. This was a strange one. We didn't really get as much done as we usually do because we had life take over.
As it does.
The whole adult thing that happens. You have to
Yes.
be focused and do certain things with career wise and whatnot. So, yeah, definitely a strange one. We started watching The Witcher again.
Yeah.
Because we never finished it before, and we started watching it. The third episode definitely was a hook, so I'm really curious to see where that's
Well, now
going.
I can actually feel excited. Before I'm like, whatever, it was that show we watched. And now I'm like, so when are we gonna watch it again?
Yeah.
I can tell that level of excitement. I know we've also been, because we all of a sudden lost a lot of any shows we had been watching.
The seasons are ending.
It's still nice to have something. It's nice to not have as much going on. We can kind of choose and not worry so much about spoilers for things like that.
Yeah.
That's always a bonus. But at the same time,
I do like Cavill. I don't know much about The Witcher other than I remember when I used to work at a bookstore and I used to receive a ton of those books. So I was like, that logo looks familiar.
Yeah.
I've never played the games or read the books, so this is all 100% new to me. So I don't have a baseline for it, but I do like his cockiness, I guess.
I like his aloofness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very much like I do what I want.
Yeah.
And I like how honest he is about things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really liking the character.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. So it's definitely trippy. This last episode was like a time jump and I just kind of was like, Mike, is this what just happened? Like, what is that really connecting like that? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it was a bit.
It was trippy.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see this next one if it plays out that way, and now I can really see it. Yeah. So that's been exciting.
So I was super excited for Sweet Tooth, but it's really slow.
Oh yeah, we've been watching that.
Not really though. We've only watched 2 episodes.
I know, because a lot happens in those 2 episodes.
A lot happens, yes, and they are good. They're well done episodes. They're
just so dramatic.
They're very dramatic, and it just hasn't been catching my attention as much of the what's going on almost feel. But I got my Will Forte fix, so I was done. I was like, move on.
I feel like I'm spent.
Yeah. Pass me the smoke.
Yeah. I'm sad by it. So I can tell that I'm I have to be emotionally prepared for
charged for it.
The last one just made me so sad.
Yeah.
And people are mean.
Yeah. But it is a pretty looking show, and it's definitely well acted and well directed. Yeah. So I'm curious to see where that goes. But we have been binging a lot more of Lucifer because that came back. And been watching that. We're almost actually finished the second part that came out. So
because I was excited about that, and there was a little bit of worrying about potential for spoilers with that, because it was one thing when it was older episodes, it didn't matter. Yeah. But now new release, it's always okay, well now we got to get this done, right?
I'm enjoying it so far. It's been interesting.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
It's fluff.
It's the exact same. What's weird though is the same themes that flow into this are the same themes that flowed into Supernatural, for God being gone and aloof, and and
he just up and disappears and leaves everything to their own devices.
Michael's a dick in both of those, and
there must be something in the
scripture.
Yes, in the
mythos
of it all. I was gonna say mythology. You said mythos is close. In the belief structure of it, that he must be a problem.
Yeah.
But Because, it's a common thing with that, right?
I'm not a dick. I don't want to be named after a dick.
I know, right? I never thought... Then, I mean... I don't know. I never went to enough Sunday school to really learn about anything like that.
Banished.
I was not banished.
You're banished.
I was not. Stop trying to drink the tea. It's too warm.
The power of Christ compels you as they kicked you out.
Thanks. I love you too. They might be kicking me out after what happened now, right? What I'm talking about. But, it always seemed like you grow up and you just assume that all the angels are nice.
All happy together.
Yeah, right? And you're like, there has to be something there that they're scary at some point. But I mean, isn't he the warrior? Isn't that the whole point then?
He doesn't come across that in Lucifer. He comes like a snivelly little businessman.
Yeah. Well, he has the power of fear, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting that they've made it. And, and fear is powerful because it has the power of suggestion for things. And I think that's interesting between him and Lucifer then, that both of them have so much of suggestion as their power in different aspects, right? Lucifer has this suggestion essentially of letting go of your inhibitions and your constraint and giving it to your desire. That's his suggestion power, right? And Michael's suggestion is, letting your fear overtake you basically and self-actualizing your fear essentially, right? So it's interesting to see they're showing more of that power of the belief. And I think even on Menadil, that power of believing in something gives you a source of it. Power.
Oh, totally.
So I like that. It's a different take of it. You know, I originally started watching it because he was hot and there was like, I'm not gonna lie. And then it was like, well, this is actually an interesting story. Like, so.
Touche.
It was a crime.
Touche.
It was a crime show. That's why I started watching it.
Crime show with abs.
No, I don't care about that. He was just he has an accent.
So you know what we saw a trailer of.
Pivoting.
Guess what the trailer came out for that gave you goosebumps, because there's more man flesh in it, but it was animated man flesh.
He-Man.
Masters of the Universe Revelation.
It was the song that gave me goosebumps, not gonna lie. The combination of like the excitement of like the I need a hero and like this epic awesomeness. And it was He-Man was there. It was like,
the movement, the fluidity of the animation and all that just looks amazing.
Right?
I'm super stoked. Like
it cannot come out fast enough.
Right? We're still like a month away.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm excited to see where they're going to take this. Like, it just looks like an action palooza. Orko,
that was one of my favorite thing with that, because he looked so badass. I mean, he might be a total dork in it, but he looked really cool in that. And how could you go wrong with the opening with Hamill's voice? I mean, oh my goodness.
Yeah, his Skeletor sounds pretty dope. Yeah. So, like, I am
so excited. And Kiddo said, wow, that's looks awesome. I can't wait. So that's a good sign.
Yeah. So I was all excited because I saw that like Toys R Us Canada here had the new figures on pre-order. Mm-hmm. And like I was like, Katie was away, so I didn't order them because I wanted to make sure that it was okay, right? We got to be good budgeting, right? And by the time she got home, they were sold out.
He tells this very differently than what I thought. I thought he was debating whether or not he wanted them or not.
I was, but it was also that fact of I wanted to make sure we had time to talk about it, right? And then, but it shows how fast things.
In my sense, he does have He-Man and Skeletor. It's
the origins
the show, so
not the super articulated ones, but it's just that interesting.
Like, it's just totally gone so quickly,
it's like,
right?
And I think that's the thing that takes away a lot of the fun of collecting sometimes, right?
There are Toys R Us exclusives.
I don't think so, or they're Toys R Us first, maybe.
So there's still a possibility somewhere online.
If they handle He-Man the way they handle G.I. Joe, they'll never show up in store.
That is true.
Because they just still have just like version 1 Roblox sitting there. When like I literally saw a post today on Instagram that there was it was in Ontario, and it was an end cap, and there was probably a good like 24 Baroness and her bike, Cobra Island ones, those Target exclusives. They were, and then it also had the Cobra Island like roadblock, like all those like, you know.
You mean the Ontario that actually can't go to stores shopping? That Ontario?
Something, yeah. Right, like
stores aren't even open really, and they're better stocked than BC. Yeah. Awesome.
So I was like, that's great. That's awesome. That's how you're gonna handle it. But yeah, so who knows? I'm still not 100. Like, I like the look of the Skeletor. The He-Man, his head's a little like squashed and derpy, so I'm not 100% on that. But I like the fact that
no one likes a derpy He-Man,
right? And Skeletor comes with that cape. That's pretty cool. But you know what? I'm still saving out for. I'm holding my money because Spawn, right? Mm-hmm. And we got to see this weekend. There was a Shanghai toy show, Wonder something, over in Shanghai, where McFarlane got to show off more of his figures and all that. Mainly, they showed the Suicide Squad with King Shark, and then they showed off the Spawn line, which included Raven Spawn, Gunslinger, Redeemer, Clown, and we got to see how big the weapon loadout is on the Clown.
It's like twice his height to have that there.
And the extra weapons and all that, so that's super cool. But then we got to see like the Redeemer in actual like scale.
The Violator?
Sorry, yeah. Violator.
Well, we got to see the Redeemer.
The Redeemer, we got to see his wingspan. His wingspan is massive. It makes the Batman That Laughs wingspan look kind of like weak, right?
Yeah.
Because of those curved wings. Mm-hmm. But the Violator, we got to see the 12-inch Violator.
The behemoth of a figure.
That it is, right? And if you look at it and you see all these close pictures that people took, it looks like it's going to have the 22 points of articulation like they talk about. It's got the ankle, it's got the knee, it's got the hip, it's got looks like two in the gut, and then the chest, and then the shoulder and the bicep and the hands.
Wow.
Like, it's going to be a beastly figure that is going to be amazeballs because it's going to be 12 inches. It's looking to, the Gunslinger looked like he only came up to his hip. Right. So,
well, yeah, it looks like twice the size because you have the shelves that they are the same height, and it's huge, huge difference.
So that's
that's all he was feeling about this weekend.
Yeah, that's gonna be my jam.
Yeah,
because like it almost looks like a Rancor too, like the skin on that thing.
Yeah, it's
right?
so texturized, right?
You might be able to do some like cool like Star Wars shots that hide that it's the Violator, and more like a.
Just put him into a monster pose, right?
Yeah, right.
He's just really, if you aren't a Spawn fan, it's just a monster.
And which could possibly make it hard for purchase because people might to see it like that and be like, "Damn, I need a beastie."
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about that. Like that was kind of fun. Besides that, there wasn't any other toy news. What we did do is we did watch The Bad Batch. Mm-hmm. This episode was epic.
Yes.
This brought back a kind of a constant in Star Wars animation, I guess.
Yeah, Rex is always there.
Yeah.
So
it shows that he's like that linchpin for the clones because he's in all those moments, and it still showed. You know that episode had in it that I think was great was Rex. The thing that always bugs me about shows and like movies when someone decides to like confront someone and like they either like. They don't talk it out, and like this he talked it out
immediately. I never felt the urge to be like, oh my god, use your words, right. And I think that was just fantastic because that's always something that pisses me off is like when you have a character, they're like, you got to do this or blah blah blah, and then it's like, but why? But I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you in 6 episodes. You're like, oh, come on. Just say it already. Right? Like, or they get in a fight or something. You're going to pull a gun on someone and they're not going to tell them why you're upset. Yeah. And then you're going to wonder why they're all defensive. Like, it's why they don't trust you, right? Yeah. So he immediately put up the stops of like, I don't feel comfortable. These are the reasons why. And I was like, enough to the point where you commented on how amazing that was. Yeah, it felt like perfect because like, if you're in that situation, you need to just spell it out versus being like cagey about it and then wondering like, why aren't you guys trusting me? I mean, come on. I just pulled a blaster on you, but I'll just tell you that's what you're thinking. No. I liked how it just kind of jumped into something too. It was the end of a mission for them and they just coming back, and it wasn't like it's being super linear and we're watching every single step. Yeah, there's still tidbits good storytelling of it. Just have you kind of catch it. Oh yeah, okay, that was what was happening. So that's been really nice.
I still enjoy it. I'm really enjoying the show. You know, it's got that fun feel. So it made us go back. We started watching we tried for like the 50th time to watch Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So we're going to try that again.
Give us a few more months and then we'll watch the next episode.
Yeah. Well, we paused our weekly Gargoyles update because it's a 2-parter and we didn't have time this weekend to do a 2-parter. So.
Well, because Saturday we didn't get to watch cartoons because I had to go get my hair done.
Yep. So.
And that is an all-day process.
That was, you know, that wasn't the adult thing I was talking about. So.
No. That was fun.
Yeah. But yes, Katie's all happy now. She's got her hair. She's feeling fabulous.
My mermaid hair.
Right.
It turned out so aerially.
What are you trying to say?
Aerially. Little Mermaidish. Is that better?
Ariel-like?
Yeah, but I wanted to use Lee instead.
Okay, fair enough. So what else dropped this week that we watched? Actually, I'm realizing we actually did watch a few things. We just didn't watch anything monumentous. Loki dropped on Disney Plus.
Holy crap, I forgot. Yeah. See, this is the time that it's just been a blur.
Right?
That was amazing. I mean,
because it came out on Wednesday.
But it was a Wednesday, so it's already like gone and past.
Yeah, it was almost too
I only remember a few nights ago. Like, oh my goodness. Wednesday just goes by. You just want Wednesday to be done with. So, I mean, this is if it's gonna keep coming on Wednesdays.
As far as I know.
So then maybe, something positive for the middle of the week.
Yeah, it's the hump day. Loki.
That we were talking about having Wednesday takeout to help us through. I mean, granted, now you're
Disney heard us.
Work,
Disney was like,
wait a second. We heard Cup of Rad said this.
Yeah,
we're going to give them something to watch with it.
Yeah.
And then we failed and didn't get takeout.
No, but didn't we have something good?
It was still good. Sure, it was good.
Sure. Yeah, I don't want to.
He's a good cook.
But so Loki, it's the new
Glorious Purpose.
New Marvel show.
Yeah.
So it basically is Loki gets picked up by the time variance, the TVA.
Well, it's the Loki that grabs the Tesseract in Endgame, and has then now created a branch off of the predestined timeline for things from what is it? Are they Time Masters? Or are they
Time? Yeah. Some things.
The three beings that have decided the Time Lords that have decided the master timeline after everything was battling and there was all sorts of stray timelines all over the place, and they cleaned it all up and decided this was what the world should be.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's Loki fighting against that, and then kind of getting a sense of his life and running around the facility and talking to him, so.
I really enjoyed it. I'm really excited to see where it's going to go.
Yeah,
like it seems like it's going to be a good ride. Like, it was super fun. You can tell a bit of the Rick and Morty humor because the showrunner produces Rick and Morty and writes on Rick and Morty too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see some of that in there. I think it's going to be a good chance for Tom Hiddleston to do some more damage with Loki.
Well, Loki's one of my favorite characters from the MCU, so
yeah.
So I'm very excited for it.
Which is hilarious that you don't actually have anything Loki.
I have a wallet.
I know, but I was meaning like you didn't get like a
figure,
or something like that.
Well, because
now you could get the Loki in the brown suit. Like, how awesome will that be?
So awesome. Well, I kept looking at the hot toy.
Yeah, but
that's just such an extreme. But it wasn't. There was never like this perfect, like that was a cool version type thing, like that was available, because it wasn't. It was all the old ones, right?
Yeah.
Which would make the most sense since that's the other MCU stuff we have is the hot toys.
Yeah. They need to bring out purple bulgy face Loki.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yes, you're so mean. That was just like cruel. Oh my god.
There's an alternate head that you could have. Should have came with Thanos.
That's so terrible. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that would really be the only thing that I should get for it, And then because we can't get pops because we refuse to buy Marvel pops anymore.
Yeah, those damn bubbles.
And then yeah, that's about it.
Well, yeah. They'll probably bringing out WandaVision one, so they're gonna bring out him as TVA with his brown suit most likely.
Yeah, I know. No.
Brown suit Loki.
He needs to be in his fancy green and black outfit.
Brown's, he'll have a wire opposable tie maybe.
He still would probably be adorable. Tom Hiddleston's adorable.
It'll be interesting to see where this show goes or what merch does come out of it. Most likely he'll, something will happen that you'll be like, ooh, right? So
yeah, see, it's also part of it. It's like I don't get to go to like Hot Topic anymore, so like even other things like that.
All they sell is Squishables anymore.
I know. That's all they post about is like, stop calling us about the Squishables that we don't have in stock. It's terrible. It's like a weird Beanie Baby phase again.
Yeah, right?
Like, what is up with it?
Because they squish amals. Like,
Is it like our pillow that we have? Or like that?
Yeah. Okay. Those things you were found, the octopus thing that you flipped in and out. That is? Yeah, it's like that stuff.
I mean, it was super amusing, but oh my gosh, like... It was an octopus that one side was happy and then you flipped it out and it was angry. And I'm like, this is awesome for like little kids. I think some of them, a mood regulator.
I think they I think some of them actually started on TikTok, so that's most likely what happened.
Oh, okay. And everything explodes.
Yeah. Huh. So it's talking about weird things that we got into late that is fad wise, but I ended up downloading Fortnite.
This is what happens. I come home from my hair and Fortnite is in the house. What the hell's happened?
No, well, okay.
This is what happens when I leave the boys alone.
Okay, well, there's a reason why. Because Kiddo plays a lot of building games, which is totally cool, right? But it distances himself from a lot of his peers because he doesn't play any of the games that have killing. Let's be honest. So
yeah, he's out. Other than Minecraft, it's out.
And even that is a problem because
he builds in Minecraft more than anything.
He doesn't like to take part of all the other stuff. So I was looking up and I found out that the basic Fortnite was free and that there was a creative mode so you could build. So I was like, if anything, maybe this would be another avenue for him to build in and try some things, right?
But still be aware of something so popular.
Yeah, and because he's been harping on us to get him on a fancy laptop that he can get build a gaming program to start building his own games.
Smart dad here,
right?
You just pivoted him right away from that.
So I was like, well,
gave him something new.
Yeah, until we could save up.
Good job.
Until we can save up and get the laptop and all that, because then it's another platform that he can get. It's basically like Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
When I look at a lot of this stuff, it feels like it, right? But it's that idea that maybe then it'll pivot him. He can try a new type of game because he was only set on like Mario Maker stuff, and he only wanted to make like Mario style games. Yeah. Well, now it's like, okay, well, here's another one, right?
Yeah.
So, but we were playing it, and that's the beauty is I found out it was cross-platform,
and that is really cool. I can really see the popularity in that because you can play it against or else.
It doesn't matter what friend has what system, you can play it together. Amazing. So Kiddo was sitting there playing it on a Switch, and I was playing it on my PS4. And we tried that, and
I couldn't be left out, so I have created an account too.
Yeah, so look at it. She just gave me flack just like literally a minute ago.
I know.
And then she's like,
I had to. But then I'm like, I don't want to be left out. I haven't downloaded the game yet, but then I figured because this is hilarious that I could just play on my computer.
Yeah, so we could each be playing it. So we can.
What we need to do is actually move over. Like he could play in his room, you can have the TV, and I can come down in the other room, and then we could all actually like have the full like distant experience all within the house. Why not?
True.
Yeah.
Kid is very excited for the fact that he hoped we can have a squad with mom and dad, and
yeah.
Now, see, we were playing, and we're playing, and we were in this one area, and he goes ahead and he says, "The storm clouds come, we have to run. Just jump." And I jumped off the building, and I died.
Listening to them play together was hilarious,
and I was like, "Dude, like."
It was interesting. I'm like, okay, so do I get into the middle of this? Because I won't have the same patience.
Don't play well with others.
I don't play well with others. I'm the one who has siblings and I don't play well with others. It will be interesting. And because Kiddo definitely comes across as the only child. Yeah. When it comes to this stuff.
So he tells me at one point we're playing, he's like, "Get in the truck, Dad." And I was like, because there was someone coming after me. I hadn't found a weapon yet, right? So I hop down, I get in the truck. Chaos. He takes off, spins around a corner, and launches into a swimming pool.
Semi just fills the whole pool, and it's just...
And he can't get out. So then I have to try... I get out. He gets out and books it, takes off.
He was trying to get out of the pool, which I thought was hilarious. Like, at what point he thought he could ever get out of there is one...
Back and forth. beep, beep, bam, bam. So I get out. I literally get out. And there's a guy there about to shoot at me, so I killed him with a pickaxe.
He plays these horribly like samurai slaughtering people games, and he's like, "Oh my god, I killed someone!"
Well, it was just surprising because it happened so fast. Because the other time, so then we got in another truck, and he takes me. Oh, so we found a house, we found weapons. We're like, okay, cool. And he's like, the storm's coming, we got to get going. We hop in this truck. He drives along. He jumps out. I didn't realize he had jumped out. And the truck goes careening into a building.
He just bailed on you and let you.
And so then it crashed. And then that's when the storm came in and I couldn't outrun the storm.
Yeah, this was quite interesting to hear. So then when Mike's like, dude, I'm going to drive from now on. Why? Kiddo, you slammed right into a building and you went into a pool. Dad's driving. Oh my goodness!
We gotta work on your driving skills, bud, because it was not Fast and the Furious there.
But they did improve.
The next time we played, I don't know how we got in second place.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Because at the end of it, kiddo's like, I didn't kill anyone. And I looked at my stats. I was like, I killed 4 people.
Everyone else just killed each other.
Yeah. And the only reason why I died was I went to go save him on the beach, and I got sniped.
Nice.
He gotten sniped, and there was but it was like that weird
That's funny.
So, but it was kind of fun. It was a fun thing to play. It's not violent looking. There's no blood or anything like that. It looks more like it's all like a battle world, like a lot of technology feel.
But I can see then why it is popular then is because. Just that concept of cross-platform, being able to then form groups with your friends.
Well, he was able to play with a friend that was playing on a different system. He talked to, and he was able to play together, right? So
that's a big thing, and even say just for you guys. I mean, you've been able to play things before, but you didn't have to worry about a split screen. You had your whole TV screen. He had his whole Switch,
I had 56 inches of screen. He had 12.
And he seemed totally fine with it. So,
but no, it was fun. It was fun, give it a go.
So I told him, I said, we're not going to spend money on it until you really try it and give it a solid effort. Yeah. And you're really happy with it. And then we can maybe try about spending a little bit of money of it just to kind of give some of your own personality, individual. That's cool. But I'm not going to be like, sure, here's $100, buy skins, because it could be a money pit. Oh, totally. Oh my goodness. So,
but you need to hurry up.
But then I look at that, I'm like, but there's stuff to customize. And I could be Catwoman.
You could be Catwoman or you could be Harley.
So that's why I go to my Sims. I just do what I want.
Throw your cheat code in. Yep. No, but it was pretty cool. It was a fun time. So that's what kind of happened. That was the 45 minutes of non-adult time that I had today. There was a little bit of cartoon time that we had. Yeah. And now. I went like fancy music. I should have had my ringtone or my. We need more music for the show. Yeah. We need someone that's willing to give us music for free. Just for the pleasure of being on the show? Oh, nice. But I didn't even think about it. I could have actually played some of my transformation because my phone makes all sorts of Sailor Moon sounds. I have... it's fun when we're watching any of the shows and that it goes off at the same time and it's magical. It's like surround sound. It is. It's so good. I have Tuxedo Mask sounds and Sailor Moon transformation sounds. There you go. Sailor Moon Eternal, new animated movie, 2-part animated movie came out. And so we decided that we would watch that this weekend as our movie event. Well, it was supposed to originally go to theaters and COVID. So then Netflix bought it and it became a Netflix original somehow. So it's a continuation of the Sailor Moon Crystal series, you said, right? Which is really surprising that they didn't try to get Crystal done on Sailor Moon. They didn't try to get Crystal on Sailor Moon. I like it. They didn't try to get Crystal on Netflix. Yeah. Right? Because this is basically the idea that is the continuation of that series. Makes sense. Which Crystal is basically a rebooted Sailor Moon. And it fits the books, the manga faster, much closer. It's less filler, right? It's like the seasons are only 13 which episodes. Is what I need to watch now.
because I think I need to give up on the animated original.
Yeah. So then they had their series, and like I think one season's even like only like 6 episodes or something,
which would make sense.
And then they were like, well, we're just gonna make 2 movies, so they're like an hour and 20 minutes.
No, they're an hour and 40 minutes each.
I thought the second one was shorter. Well, anyways, they're fairly short. They're not 2 hours each.
No, they're not.
But they so they dropped.
I think it was 2.5 hours total for the whole thing. So that's why we knew we couldn't watch them together. Like we had to watch them separately. So yeah.
So they can't be an hour and 40 each.
No, they can't be. I thought they were, but you were correct. I'm surprised he's not looking it up right now to be like, no.
I'll do that later.
Yeah. So this is the Dead Moon Circus arc. And if you are aware of Sailor Moon manga or anything of that nature. So it's you have all the Sailor Guardians, and Chibiusa is also a Sailor Guardian, and it's kind of I think it's the second to last arc really for it. And so there's going to be a total solar eclipse, and basically within this it happens, and the Dead Moon Circus arrives in their creepy little ship that sails onto the earth, and it's so you have the 4 Amazonas. I'm
not sure.
Woke up the dot. I don't want to say her name again. The quartet of minions. That I always had a really hard time saying her name whenever I would read the book too. It was actually very difficult. And then you have their like puppeteer that so all they do is they spread nightmares and fear in these little like fuzzy dust clouds of evil.
Look like they're from Ghibli movies.
Yeah, exactly. They remind me of
Spirited Away.
So they're basically just creating nightmares and feeding off of terror, because every single villain in Sailor Moon world is just trying to drain people of energy. And that's the common theme through every villain. So then you find out basically that because Tuxedo Mask Mama-chan is something's wrong. Something is in his chest and he's getting sick. Kind of looks like he has TB. And he's got like a darkness.
Shadows.
Yeah, he's got a darkness in him. And essentially the core of the earth is under attack from nightmares. And because he was always a prince, of course, and he is the prince of earth. And so the kingdom there is a golden crystal and the power of earth. And it's that concept that you have this kingdom in the core of the earth, the moon from the silver kingdom, and then they together protect the earth. So you have now you got that different mythology with him and his kingdom, and you learn more about that. And it's kind of a ties back. It was interesting. The villain, you see a flashback of when Sailor Moon was Princess Serenity was a baby way back when, before the kingdom fell, and the Queen Nehalele, I can never say her name.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? She was like Maleficent.
Yeah, it totally was Maleficent.
She showed up and came, was like, why haven't you invited me to this party? And, where's my gift for the new princess? And I'm going to curse you. I'm like, holy crap, it's Maleficent.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. So I really enjoyed it though, because it fits the book so much better, right? I wasn't frustrated there wasn't bickering. I could feel the romance and the true love came across between Tuxedo Mask and Sailor Moon, which all those points that I love about the book were there. And Sailor Moon was a likable character. She actually did things and was a strong, character. She wasn't all snivelly and whining and those types of things. So it made me so happy it made me feel like the book came to life, right? So what are your thoughts?
I thought it was really cool. Just I like seeing how fast the transformations and stuff like that. I will admit the Amazonians, or whatever you call them, their outfits were outrageously.
Should have seen his face when he first saw them.
Well, it was like really this is happening, Katie? Like,
yeah. We're just watching erotica. Don't mind us,
right? Like the thongy like feathery things that they wore and all that. It was just like,
or the pants that had just big openings and then like
then it just went to a thong in the back.
Yeah,
right. It was like So I was joking. I was like, "This needs to be your next outfit that you rock."
I told him that his next costume for a con needs to be the Tiger Man. Like they take 3 animals and turn them into humanoid forms, and they're really interesting. And this Tiger Man was a very flamboyant costume with like the world's lowest pant start with like these hips and just like. It was insane looking and it was ridiculous and like it was atrocious. But I told him like for once he was actually a male looking character.
Yeah.
That I was like, sure, yeah. If you're gonna make me suggest that I should wear something like that, then this is what you get to wear.
Fine.
We'll be Luna and Artemis. You can wear a weird belly button open like
There's so much strange fashion in this.
This is the weirdest fashion
It's ever. Like, what is happening?
Luna's outfit's pretty awesome. But Artemis is super bizarre. I don't know what on earth decided they needed to like have his belly button showing. He's completely covered except for his belly button. Like, what is that?
Yeah, that's definitely a strange one.
Yeah. But I love that's one of the things I love though is all the Guardians, they have different outfits throughout it. They aren't just in their school uniforms. They are in them a lot. But when they're spending the day on the weekend and they're off doing something, they're all wearing different fashion all the time. And I think it's super fun.
Yeah.
And this one, so the first half of it, like the first episode, was a lot faster and a lot more going on. And the second one was a lot more dramatic, but the legendary Guardians show up and it's all the unfolding of Sailor Saturn. And, because you have the legendaries that have actually been raising her and how quickly she grows up and turns into Sailor Saturn. And so it is more dramatic kind of leading up to all of that. And you have a lot more, so it's a lot more like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And peril and whatnot and trying to figure out the big picture of things. So I really love Sailor Saturn's story in the book because she's always looked upon as being this, she is the guardian of destruction, but it's also rebirth. Mm-hmm. And so they always had that fear of, well, we can't wake this guardian up because then the world will be destroyed. But then they also come to realize, like, if we don't tear something down, we also can't begin again. We can't grow and rebuild, right? So it's the circle of life aspect for things. She's the guardian of ending and starting a new cycle, essentially, right? So I always like that concept of it. So which is why she just then keeps cycling. She's never really fully grown up because then something happens and she always has that cycle. So but so it's cool because you got to see all of the Guardians, as I say, and more, right? And being able to see even their fashion, like I really love that. Sailor Pluto's costume was pretty awesome. So she looked all like more goth almost. It was athletic, pretty cool. Kind of like yeah. Like I really like their personalities really come through, especially with the legendary. She's a little bit more, for as much of a science type person that she is, like she's the more of the study and the and observe things, but she has a little bit more edge and trend to her. And then Sailor Neptune is always in like much more flowy and much more soft and feminine clothes. And then Uranus is always in pants and but really interesting tops. Like her shirt was just one button and that was the fashion for it. And then I don't know why exactly she was hanging out with it open and bra on and everything like that. And it's like
just rocking her best life.
But she was just happy as can be, right? And so it's just, they have very unique styles. And I really like how they use the fashion to portray their personalities too. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Like, I can tell by talking about it that positively. I'm sure the difference between
you're always cup of rage whenever you end up watching it. That's why I told you not to keep watching the anime, the original, because it was too much filler and too crybaby for you, right? And so it was cool to see when you did say you want to watch this. I had to okay, we're gonna do this, but I'm worried. I'm worried, and I'm glad that then the more straightforward, simplistic story without the fluff then allowed you to be able to enjoy that. It made it much more engaging for you, right? So
what else did you find amusing in this?
The kaleidoscope rod things. Yeah
I laughed every time because it's not nearly as apparent in the book, but in this it made me laugh every time, and I'm like, don't let kiddo see why I'm laughing. I'm gonna ask, why are you laughing at these?
It was vastly inappropriate.
They are.
I you know what I was thinking about, just in general, when it comes to anime and all that, how much I want to see the split of how long all these power-ups and all these actually take in real time. Do they go into a separate pocket dimension to be able to do this? Because you almost, it's like that, the comedy, the Robot Chicken Fuel, where it's they do their big spiel and then they stop, and then, well, where'd they go? Right? Because it's that one power up that they took, it felt like it was 20 minutes at the end.
The big reveal when she actually turns into Sailor Moon Eternal shows up. And she's got this, it's like a massive power up and then a transformation.
And everyone
else gives the power. And then it's rainbow shooting everywhere and sparkle kaleidoscopes on everything. And then the villains are supposed to stand by and be like, sure, you just charge right up so you can kill me. Go ahead.
Right.
I'll stand here. We're good.
Right. So it's the same with Dragon Ball and all those things where there's just they just take their sweet time, and you're just does this stuff actually happen fast?
Can we see this from the point of view of the villain?
That's what I want to see. Even if it's an after effect kind of feel, more of the redo feel, because it's just that wonderment. It's not that it takes the illusion away or destroys it. It's just you sit there and you think, you'd be like, wow, it's been 5 minutes now and they're still transforming.
Even how long it takes some of them to actually do their attack because of it. They call down their attack and have to charge up and do the little spiel of things.
Well, thing with even Power Rangers, this latest Dino Fury has a lot of long charges and Kiddo Weavies, and you're wow, this is taking forever. So that
was cool too, though, being able to see, because all the Guardians, though, speaking of long power-ups and transformations, they all get new, it is a little weird, but they get new transformations because they find out that they have weird little mini Sailor Guardians within them, because they're the Guardian Princesses, because then you find out they all have castles on their respective planets as well. And so then these weird little tiny versions of themselves wake up their consciousness and show them the kind of that power within feel, and they have these crystals, and then they got fancier power-ups. And so it was fun to be able to see some of that, especially Mars and her big fancy flaming arrow and stuff like that, just to see some of those different power-ups, because even in the books that I'm reading right now, it's that reminder of some of the different ones that are actually there. And in the animated series we were watching before, they were just using the same things because it was so few and far between them, and they actually use the power-ups, right? Or their power attacks. And so being able to see some of that different stuff was cool.
Nice.
But that's one thing that's interesting, is then especially the legendaries in the next arc, then they actually go to their planets and they have to go do research, and then then they have them searching for them as they get taken. They're essentially getting killed by this one, and they go to the castles, and they're finding these ruins of stuff, and so then it's more of a connection with, it's a galaxy Sailor, so rather than just the solar system, or not a galaxy, it's a universe one. So.
But you had fun with it, right?
I did. I actually really did enjoy it. I was very happy. It was nice to see. It was very refreshing to have that excitement about it, and because it gave me all those same feels of why I actually like it in the first place. with just a little bit of like the over exaggerated, like this is crazy, especially for those power ups. But the Sailor Moon Eternal figure looks really cool. Like not figure, design like that.
Yeah.
And it makes me like something like that would be cool to have as a figure art, something different, so different than the original, right? This one here, she's got such a different colored skirt.
Yeah, it's like three, like blue,
solid
yellow and pink.
Yeah. So really solid colors with that. And, but yeah.
Nice.
Good stuff. I like
it's on Netflix.
Kiddo liked it. He said, he liked the action with it. So
yeah, so it's on Netflix there, which is pretty good. So
and he probably liked all the boobs too. Like so many boobs.
Boobs and butts.
Boobs and butts. Yeah. Why else? Anime wouldn't be the same without it.
I don't know if I should touch that one.
No.
But yeah, no, I'm glad you got to experience that. So hopefully if you are a Sailor Moon fan that you'll be able to go check that out on Netflix and have the same enjoyment from it. The animation was superb. It was really fluid. It was very pretty. And, it was a good time. Good time. So we tried watching My Hero. I'm going to have to subscribe because there was like 2 minutes of show and 4 minutes of ad. So we gotta.
Yeah, before we get cat. We were just waiting a little bit more so that you had more on there for backlog. Yeah. But yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, they make it so difficult to actually. Yeah, you're like, yeah, sure, it's free. But I remember when you were trying before, you're like, nope, I can't do this.
Nope. So we are behind on watching My Hero. I was kind of waiting for Kiddo to get caught up on reading a bit more, so which was kind of nice.
Maybe that'll be your kickoff to summer.
Here we go.
We start it up then. Because then you'll really want to be able to watch it, right?
Yeah, we'll get through it in a day.
Yeah. Most likely.
But
the lucky bums are free in a week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These things happen. It's a reward for a job well done.
There you go.
But yeah, you know what?
We watched a Netflix documentary of sorts called Have a Good Trip. And it was all about psychedelics.
Adventures in psychedelics.
And so between LSD and mushrooms, DMT, and something else.
Mainly it was mushrooms and acid.
But it was mainly mushrooms and acid, yeah. I mean, and because that's all really the main bulks of the hallucinogenics. And talking to, either comedians or music mainly artists like that.
Comedians and
mainly
a
comedians.
Few rock stars.
Sting was actually the most interesting to hear, because he was so humbled by it. Like really, not like this was awesome. It was just like almost a reverence for it. Like he 100% supports the concept of doing it.
Yeah,
it was you should experience it, but understand that it has power and it has. It almost knocks you on your ass a little bit, and that's kind of maybe what you need. You get
whatever you put into the trip.
Yeah, and I thought that was really interesting. Like it was so wise. Like, wow, Sting, man,
right?
You are wise,
right? Like, yeah,
I think it was my favorite parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of comedians and like reenacting their trips and different and like and it was a concept of like learning like. Like tips that they would have had and like wisdom that they had after doing it, right?
Passed on.
So it was interesting, kind of learning more about, what its effects are and being more honest with, how it's kind of portrayed and how kind of what it really is. And it was actually really interesting.
Oh, it was very interesting. There's quite a bit of humor to it too, which was nice.
Yeah, and it's definitely drug, and there it was talking about, there was a psychologist in there who's doing studies on the concept of using mushrooms for almost an anti-anxiety, especially for palliative care and but also mental illness and trauma and those types of things, and different ways that it's because it can almost allow you to let go of especially if it's more of a medicinal treatment for things.
Well, they're talking about actually extracting stuff from it.
And being very, very calculated in it. It's not just recreational use. Yeah. It's like, here is your prescription dose of it, right?
Yeah.
And ironically, I had just seen a local article about studies as well that was talking about that. saw them on Twitter, and so, realizing, because because I talked about peyote as well, and so much of it is used in traditional and indigenous medicines, and it's it's still allowed under in traditional circumstances for that, because there is relatively healing powers or different kind of important events that can happen with those sorts of things, right? So I thought it was interesting. And I had never actually heard of DMT. Yeah. And that one's basically like a super intense quick high, and also it's really short as well. So like he had described it as like an express train to it. Yeah. Where it can kick in within 5 minutes, but maybe the trip will only last 15 minutes idea. Yeah. It's seems so strange to think that our body can actually metabolize something like that. Mm-hmm. But it was talking on a scientific level about MAOI inhibitor, that basically if you take it without it, your body has the ability to suppress it naturally. But if you take that inhibitor, then your body can't then your body processes it essentially. Yeah. Right. So it's an interesting concept that it's a little bit different. Our body, you have to work it with something. So we learned that. That was
the more you know moment.
Yeah. So
tripping balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Father's Day is coming up. So, you know what? Hopefully you get to celebrate your pappy, your papa, your whatevers. If you don't, then
your whatevers.
Kudos to you. For what you do. It's hard. It's just like we talked about Mother's Day. It's not something that's easy to celebrate for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So I don't. So I get it. But there's a lot of people that do have. I always relinquished my feelings of being like Popeye. He knows his pappy's out there, but doesn't have a relationship with him. Yeah. And then when he does show up,
you really are Popeye, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I am what I am. So.
Oh, another thing we did this weekend that Mike got a little too attached to was we found a new app called Reface app, and Mike made himself a movie star and a super action hero, and
I posted some of those on Instagram.
Yeah, it was amazing. If you haven't seen it, it was awesome. It was a perfect picture that he took that was kind of like, my hairdresser was like, he's got this excellent everyday face that just kind of blends in and works for everyone. That's why you could be a spy, because you could be anyone. I know you're a spy, but you can be everyone.
I'm spying on all of you right now.
And it was super awesome.
I'm inside your brain.
Putting Kiddo on some of those were really, really creepy because
it made everyone's head small.
Yeah.
It made everyone's head too small.
The Hulk with the tiny kiddo head was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't make any sense. It was
So that was some other silliness. If you haven't tried that app, it was worth a good few laughs for sure. So, but there you go.
That's our week. That's it.
So next weekend, whatever you get to call the shots then.
I call the shots?
Yeah.
Interesting. Now there's pressure.
I know. It's super pressure. Right? You told me from Mother's Day.
You know what I want to do? I want to see if Troma Now works up in Canada, and I want to watch all 5 Toxic Crusader movies and the 13 episodes of Toxic Crusader.
We are not going to be able to do that one weekend, but sure.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Can we try that and make a compromise somewhere in there, and I will suffer through
No compromise.
Okay.
I will suffer through this.
Because I love you.
We got to do it, because eventually Legendary is going to drop their reboot. Starring Peter Dinklage, and now apparently Kevin Bacon is playing the bad guy. So, you have to have source material under your belt.
Understandable. Okay. Right? Okay. Well, you know what? You set it up. As I say, I will be there.
Be there.
With bells on.
With blinders on.
Yeah. Sure, Mike. Let's dig in.
Oh, the pain.
I'm trying to be supportive.
Okay.
The creepy gooey guy.
Yeah. The ultra violence and sex.
Oh, well, then bring it on. Why didn't you say that? Jeez,
That's what sold it. Got it. So you know what? Do something fun. Say something nice to someone. Even if it's on social media. Just be a little less douche and stay rad.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Want more rad content? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review.
And remember, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes!